Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. James House along with my co-host Glenn Martin and DK in the background. Of course, this is a post-game show here to get our live reaction to the Baltimore Ravens' ridiculous loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Final score, what, 28-27? I got that right? Yeah.
You got it.
For some reason, I have selective amnesia, and so I'm deciding not to remember the score game. But, yeah, we are here to talk about it, the good, the bad, the good, the otherwise. Fun one, right, Glenn?
Man, this one was brutal. I mean, somebody in the comment, I think it was Sven, summarized it well. It's tough. This is tough, Jimbo.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what, Christopher says it in the chat. The team appears to be sleepwalking. It certainly did, at least
annoying
offensively, really throughout the game. But defensively, the second half, I mean, undid all with they seeming like they looked phenomenal for these last couple weeks. And then even to start this game, they look great. And even the defense absolutely fell apart.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, man, I there is so much to talk about in this one, Jimbo. But yeah, disappointing 28-27 loss. You go down to Jacksonville, lose to a 3-7 team. So the Ravens are 7-4. And of course, at the same time, the Bengals beat the number 1 seeded or number 2 seeded Tennessee Titans today. And now they're in a tied position for, first in the AFC North. Of course, the Ravens own the current tiebreaker, but with so many games left to play, now the AFC North is back up for grabs.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that the Ravens put themselves in the situation where, of course, they don't make anything easy in this game and then throughout the entire season, right? I knew that something was wrong when everyone talks about the red zone stuff, but it when you see a team that comes in, and dominates as far as trips to the red zone and then ends up in a situation where they're down 2 times, 7-6, of course, and they're down 10-9, and your leading scorer is Justin Tucker. It's the Justin Tucker show. Like, it's going to be. That's exactly how. So that penalties, drops, negative plays, those are the ways you keep inferior teams in a game.
Yep.
And I'm not saying the Ravens are this incredible team. Certainly, we're not the Bills.
Oh, they're the better team, though.
But they are the better football team. I mean, that's how you keep teams that you should beat in games.
Yep.
When you beat yourself. And that was, of course, the really frustrating thing about this. Sean Pisker says, guys, I don't know what to say. This team is not a playoff team. Lamar is not playing like a quarterback that once paid. Horrid. Peters looked burnt toast today. I don't want to see this team in the playoffs. KC would smoke us. Well, there's still 6 games left. Sean, as much as I agree with like what you're saying, I'm a jump off the cliff guy too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll after this game, I walked over to my wife. I was like, I don't even want to do the pod anymore. Like, I'm just This is just frustrating. Like,
it's so aggravating the way they lost. So many self-inflicted wounds. It just drives you absolutely crazy. I will say this, Sean. Would it shock you at all, or anyone, you, Jimmy, you could answer on behalf of Sean, would it shock anyone if the Ravens come out next week and look phenomenal?
Yeah, no, right? And that's been the most frustrating part, I think, about all of it, right, is these peaks and valleys.
That's exactly right.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, and I think I have a little more confidence that the defense can rebound in a huge way than the offense currently, but I wouldn't be shocked at all to see them bounce back. But, man, it's the way they're playing, the self-inflicted wounds, it's just it's absolutely driving me crazy. Ravens O's Nation says, I'm sick and tired of being teased every goddamn year. I can't take it anymore. Every year they make me think they will be good. Well, the only thing I'll say is that every team outside of maybe trying to think if the Chiefs have a game where their fans don't even recognize them, but every other team other than the Chiefs have had a game where you go, who the hell who are these guys? Like, this doesn't
wasn't
look
it the Vikings that got stomped by the Cowboys 2 weeks ago?
40-3, absolutely destroyed after beating the Bills. And the Bills have had multiple games where they look horrible. And even the Eagles, I mean, they've had their fair share. They should have lost to the Colts last week.
And goodness gracious, they lost to the Redskins at the end of the day.
So they've all had
excuse me, I just said the Redskins.
The commies. Yeah. I think they've all had their moments where they look extremely beatable. And that's mainly the only thing that's kind of keeping me in it right now is that all the teams look gettable.
Yeah, for sure. So James Lee Wiley says, I hate to say it, but the way LJ was missing receivers, I was hoping they put in Huntley. I don't know if I was ready to go that far, James. But
I see his point in that any other position, this wouldn't even be a discussion.
Yeah.
In the sense that if a player isn't performing, you know, it's not unlikely or abnormal for a player to take a few reps off and let his backup, you know, run a few plays. It's just abnormal at quarterback in a big way.
For sure. And so I think that, James, I want to address this comment, but as far as kind of how we see this moving forward, I think, you all right over there, big guy? Did you just hit your elbow?
I hit my elbow.
Old tickle bone?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But I was going to say, I think what we should do is I'm going to address James' comment. Let's talk about, let's give some stats.
Yeah.
And then what I think we should do as far as after that, let's talk about some things that, like, I want to address those self-inflicted wounds. Where were they? What were they? And let's talk about what they can do, what we reasonably believe aren't going to be repetitive things, right? The hard thing about this, Glenn, is like, this is just like seeing someone you love the most ruin their lives. You know, like just make terrible decisions because it's not anything that's being done to them. They are doing it unto themselves, right? Like that's the hard thing about it. So, but James, I the only thing I would say is I mean, all we can really do here is keep the faith. We know that Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback to Huntley, and I mean that's just the way that it is. So all we can do is hope that he continues to improve. I tweeted at Joshua. Oh gosh, who was our guy? His quarterback coach. Yeah, at Josh Harris. I was like, Josh, what's up with his footwork, man? I didn't get a response, but that to me
is salty.
Yeah, that to me is one of the things that I want to talk about as far as self-inflicted wounds, and whether or not Lamar can reasonably address that and improve upon that. But Glenn, why don't we run through some stats here? Because I think there are some telling things in these stats to this ball game, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, so let's see. I'll start with team stats, and then we'll get a little more granular with the individual players. But the Ravens have 24 first downs to the Jaguars, or Jaguars. Make sure I pronounce that properly.
There you go.
Jaguars 18 first downs, so they win the battle there. Total yards, the Ravens end up with 415. The Jaguars 332. Total drives, the Ravens get one more at 11. And passing numbers, the Ravens pass for 253. The Jaguars pass for 294. And on the ground, the Ravens run for 162 to the Jags 38. And then see penalties. The Jags have 4 penalties, 19 yards. Ravens 3 for 20. And turnovers. The Ravens have 2 turnovers to the Jags 1. The Ravens do win the possession battle 32.5 to 27.5, but obviously don't win the battle or win the war here, losing the game 28-27. But let's get into some other numbers because, man, it's crazy. When you look at 35 carries, 162 yards, it looks as if the Ravens dominated on the ground. But, Jimmy, it didn't feel like they were dominating on the ground in any way other than when Lamar Jackson would pull it and just carry dudes. I mean, he goes 14 carries, 89 yards. But Gus only averaging a little over 3 yards a carry, 16 carries, 52 yards, and that one tough touchdown. What was up with the ground game today?
Yeah, it's funny because I was thinking about what was happening, and I started to get the ringing in my ear of me, of people saying that we need a top flight receiver, this, that, and the other, and things like that, and the playmaking just isn't there. I think we really missed Ronnie Stanley today, and his impact is not only as a pass protector, but also his athleticism and ability to pull and to get horizontal in the rushing attack. Especially, we saw a couple times, not a couple, I mean more than a couple of times, where both him and Morgan Moses are on the same. They end up on the same side of football because one of them is pulling, and they're just creating these massive holes. And so missing that, obviously, McCary, we love him and he does his very best, but certainly he's not Ronnie Stanley, right? So to me, I think that had a lot to do with it. Maybe I'm building in an excuse here because he wasn't available. But other than that, I did see Powers working his butt off today. In fact, I gave Powers credit for that 2-point conversion to Mark Andrews because he pushed and pulled and drug, as much as Mark was carrying people, man, Powers is in on that. So Gus needs to get his legs under him. He had that, like you said, he had a nice run in the beginning for 17 yards. And then after that, it seemed like, it was just one here, one there. But, it was interesting. I think in this game, he had 3 carries for negative yards.
It's crazy. You don't see that from Gus.
Right, pretty rare. So I don't know if all that can be put on one Gus Edwards, but certainly not the best look.
Well, he got
And then
all the
Drake
workload. I mean,
yeah,
he got 100% workload, 16, well, not 100%, but 16 carries for him. Drake and Hill combined for 3. So clearly he was the workhorse. But Jimbo, I mean, you can tell me if my eyes are deceiving, and maybe I'm gassing up Gus a little more than maybe I should have. But I just remember seeing him go through certain arm tackles and drag certain ball care. I mean, the one where it looked like a safety kind of shot the hole and tackled him for like a 1-yard loss, but Gus just went down too damn easy for my liking. Like it just didn't seem like he had the power behind his runs that we're used to seeing from Gus. And that could just because he's so fresh from the injury.
Yeah, I think that has something to do with it, and that's fair. But I'll also say, just from an energy standpoint, certainly we're talking about Gus, but the entire offense seemed flat today.
Flat.
Right? Like lack of energy, lack of want to,
Same as last game.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing to me. And I don't know, who do you blame a lack of energy on, right? Like,
I mean, you got to go the leaders, you got to go the coaches, but certainly the leaders in the locker room. It's all about the players. And if you don't have guys, getting this team up and ready to go and emphasizing the importance of every game, I mean, then things like this can happen. But let's get into some more numbers here. Through the air, Lamar Jackson goes 16 of 32, 254 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Is only sacked the 1 time for a loss of 1. So while I think the offensive line, without Ronnie Stanley, pass blocking, you can't really give them a whole lot of grief. I mean, I think they did a hell of a job. I think McCary's that hold, by the way, I thought was BS.
That was a weak call. Yeah.
Horrible call. Their arms were tied up. It's not like he was grabbing. Their arms got a little tied up, but he immediately tried to get his arm out of there. It was a horrible call. Took away but as far as the pass blocking, I got to say, I thought they did an excellent, excellent job against a team, in fairness, it isn't known for their pass rush, but still.
Sure.
Fantastic job. But Lamar Jackson, 50% completion rate, Jimbo. And we're going to get into it, so let's just do it now. Yeah. 7 drops is what I'm seeing. 7 drops. And I think 3 or 4 were in the freaking end zone or a guaranteed touchdown.
Let's see. The drops that come to my mind, you got the short one to Duvernay. You got the in the end zone.
First drop of the year, by the way.
So, and then Demarcus Robinson in the end zone.
Yep.
That's the other one.
Mark
Josh
Andrews in the end zone.
Oh, right. That's the one I'm forgetting. Yeah. Mark Andrews.
What the hell?
He kind of gator armed it, didn't he?
I don't even understand it. I mean, it was a layup. It was an easy catch. And then you had outstretched catch for Josh Oliver, but he got both his hands on the ball. And this time the jump. You jumped too early, you goof.
Yeah.
Catch the damn ball.
That's 4 I can think of. Is there one? I mean. Oh, and then Drake had a drop.
Wide open.
Yeah, I mean, that was ridiculous. That's a routine right out of the backfield. Do it in your sleep. You know what I mean? That's the problem, is that, like, we're talking about drops here in bigger moments than others, but certainly in the red zone, the highest leverage moments of the game, where these are things that, it's gift wrapped for you. Not that every single one was an easy catch, but the ball was obviously in your hands, or else it wouldn't be calculated as a drop. So
yeah.
Is this a concern for you moving forward as far as this being a consistent theme?
Absolutely. Because if anything else, it's damaging their confidence. Even if they say, even if they try and say all the right things and say, oh, it's just a blip. This is something that we're not worried about. It's in your head. And that's all it takes is a little bit of lack of confidence at this level. And then you drop your first one in the next game, or it's a tough catch and you just can't pull it in. Then it's in your head the rest of the game. And then the defense feeds off of that. I'm absolutely concerned. Doughboy Game says Marcus Peters was showing his best Eli Apple impression. Needs to get the bleep out of town or out of Baltimore. This team has no excuse of losing this game. Yeah, I mean, you can't lose this game. And it's another fourth quarter blown lead. It's another second half double digit. I mean, it's something I didn't think we'd see for the rest of the year. I certainly didn't think we'd see it against the damn Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, well, and it got bad too when Marlon went out. I mean, you saw how valuable Marlon Humphrey is for us, because he turned into Peyton Manning as soon as Marlon went out of the game.
Yeah.
So
what do you think about Marcus? I mean, Marcus Peters had me furious at points today.
Absolutely, multiple times where it to me, I don't know. I just feel like it's there's guessing and there's lack of effort.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just
Play like your hair's on fire once in a while. That's what I'd
yeah,
like to see.
yeah, for sure. And stop with the smugness. Like just
Yeah.
play ball,
He's
dude.
got that.
Like,
He's got a little. I'm starting to see a little of that Zach Wilson attitude.
oh
Like
gosh. Oh
just
boy.
just peaks of it. Like what? Well,
Yeah.
he just acts like he can do nothing wrong. But
Yeah.
then I'm seeing total lack of effort.
Right.
That little China route that on the on the touchdown. I think it was on a touchdown where the guy just simply comes in motion and turns around, and runs right back out to the flat. Like you don't see that coming as a vet.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's a serious problem for sure. I think there's another super chat down here.
Ian Wick says LJ always be inconsistent, miss open guys, and throws a 60-yard bomb. Yeah, I mean the dime he threw to Deshaun Jackson was ridiculous, but then misses D-Rob wide open, misses who else did he miss wide open that was deep?
Mark, he overthrew Mark.
Mark
got behind him.
Yeah,
and I feel like that happened more than once. And even the Josh Oliver drop was not ideal.
Wasn't a perfect throw, yeah.
No, I mean, and he could have put that on a rope.
Yeah.
You know I mean, I feel like I haven't seen the 22, but it seemed like there was a clear path to just hit him right in the numbers with that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that it's everyone. It's not like there's one, like, not even Mark. Like, not Mark, not...
And then the delay of game stuff is another self-inflicted wound, right? That coach admitted that was a coaching problem. Get the plays in.
Get the plays in. I saw
dude,
at 10 seconds, I saw Lamar look to the sideline and go like this. Like, you shouldn't still be in the huddle with 10 seconds, much less still asking for the damn play call. I don't know if there was a comms issue. I mean, we don't know. But they immediately ran to the line and snapped it barely on time. It's just absolutely it's so frustrating, man. It's driving me crazy here, Jimbo.
Yeah, dude, it was one of those games, man. And then, of course, at the end, you put Justin Tucker in an impossible situation.
And then he damn near bailed him out again.
Yeah.
Tariq says, I blame this one on Greg Roman going nowhere. I mean, look, ultimately, if your offense is underperforming, it falls on the shoulders of Greg Roman. So certainly he deserves blame. Now, 7 drops, I'm sure is something he might point to. The missed throws, something I'm sure he might point to. But the fact that we can't have, I mean, look, it's so funny when you look at it and you see 35 carries, 162 yards, 4.6 as a team. That looks like a good run game, but it just didn't feel like that to me because I saw Lamar Jackson make so much of that happen himself. That, he certainly deserves blame, I think, in the run game not being what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I agree 100%. In that, I think what I thought about the run game was, the way Lamar was producing it seemed very forced, right? Like it was not a plan A part of the conversation, or a part of the play call or the scheme. In a lot of cases, it was simply, oh crap, I have nothing, right? So I need to scoot out of here, right? And so that's not the way we want our run game to exist. And so, but the thing I want to ask you, Glenn, because I got to know what your thoughts are on this. I forgot who was the previous super chat said that Lamar is very inconsistent. Talk to me more about that.
About
Lamar? You feel? Well, yeah. How do you feel about that comment and him being inconsistent? I feel like I've put a lot of confidence in him developing as a throw of the football, and I feel like we've seen that. But man, I can't disagree that inconsistency has been a theme forever, right? Like,
yeah, but it seems as though in certain areas there's regression, which is really the puzzling part of it. Sean, and I think Sean kind of goes right towards this, which is why I'm putting it up here. He said, it's hard for me to process this. I'm not trying to be a jump off the cliff guy. This red zone offense really has been horrible all season. I'm losing faith, Lamar. I think that the part that's puzzling is that how is it there's been, like, do you agree that Lamar Jackson's deep ball was just better in 2019?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, why? He's so much better in so many other ways. He's got more experience. Why is it? And I get that the weapons aren't great. They weren't great then. And even when the weapons are getting open, like we saw D-Rob wide open, the throw is it's not like it's barely underthrown where he has to slow down, gives the defender a chance, but at least he has a chance to make a play. It's so overthrown, he doesn't even have a chance to make a play on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's the part that's frustrating, Jimbo. And also the decision-making in the red zone made the Ravens offense and Lamar Jackson a cheat code offensively. I mean, you could not stop the Ravens in the red zone. And to Sean's point, when Lamar got called down at the 1 and it was 1st and goal at the half-yard line, it was an effort to get that half yard, Jimbo. Like, it was a chore for the offense to get that half yard. It took heroic effort from Gus getting absolutely just smashed at the inch line, then second effort, a touchdown. Mm-hmm. What the hell is going on with our red zone offense at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, let me complete a sentence here.
Okay.
I am really concerned, and I hate this. I hate this because this is what everyone says about Lamar Jackson, and I hate the stupid, like, people that don't watch the games, that, like, just read headlines. I hate when those people are right because they don't actually know, right? Mm-hmm. But I agree with you, Sean, in that, like, I've lost some faith as well because I believe that it's difficult for any of us to compartmentalize a lot of things. Lamar Jackson is dealing with a lot of stuff. He is his own agent. He is all over social media. And, like, say whatever you want, but, like, when you hear all sides of the argument all the time, you put all this pressure on yourself, it will come out somewhere. It starts to manifest itself somewhere. And I feel like a lot of his game, he's panicked. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's why his feet aren't set. I feel like that's why he doesn't look as collected. I feel like that's why he's more inconsistent. He's doing too much. There's too much going on to where he needs to find a way to simplify things for himself in the game, in his own head. Like, every play can't be a live or die play. You know what I mean? There just needs to be some consistency there. And yeah, it's been difficult this year for sure to keep the faith.
I never knew how much that Bateman injury would really change this offense, but it seems like it's just devastated passing attack. It's just Quan says, I'm done. Change the damn OC. We kept winning by the skin of our teeth. I knew it. I don't care if it's not fully Roman. You need something new. Can't keep kicking. I mean, I think I don't disagree with there comes a time where there needs to be something new. And I will say this. I don't think it should happen. I don't think it will happen mid-season because this team's still very much in the fight. But I can see why people are saying, you know, it's time for something new. That I'm fine with. But I tell you this, I don't hope it happens mid-season because we don't have a play caller on the staff. And it's almost like the Ravens are a victim of their own success. And that since they fired a coordinator once and it worked in mid-season, that now, you know, that should be what everyone does. Something's got to change though. Greg's got to get, I mean, you can't be this poor in the red zone and you can't be this inconsistent as a passing team and think that you're going to go deep in the playoffs. Just can't do it. And ultimately it falls at the feet of your offensive coordinator. And so Greg's got to get he's got to get in that vault. He's got to ruffle through some papers and he's got to come up with something here, Jimbo.
What about, let's talk defensively. I feel like we've been harping on Greg and we've been talking about Greg and Lamar, and rightfully so. But let's talk about the defense because I know we did for a little bit, but I felt like, I don't know what the stats are on this. I mean,
well, I can give you some numbers here, Jimbo.
Yeah, let's talk some numbers.
It's going to piss you off. Trevor Lawrence, Jimbo. Trevor Lawrence went 29 of 37 for 321 yards, 3 tutties, and no picks.
Look like Jesus in cleats today.
I mean, what the hell got into that guy? And then, you know who he was throwing the damn ball to? Zay Jones, by the way, was nowhere in the area code of Marlon Humphrey, but Zay Jones goes 11 catches, 145 yards. So, I mean, we talked about Marcus Peters, but we got to talk about Brandon Stevens.
Yeah. Yep. He seems a step late and is playing way too physical, obviously the penalty, but he's always on the fringe of getting a penalty anyway, and always seems a step behind.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, I mean, I get, and it's like you said, the frustrating part is that he's always right there. It's like Judon in his time here. He was always this close to getting the sack,
right? But
not actually getting there. And I feel bad for him. I thought that was a horrible holding call earlier in a big play that would have been a stop in that drive. Thought that was terrible.
But the guy, Lofton, to his credit, said it right. Use your feet, not your hands.
Yeah.
Move your feet to stay on the guy. You don't need to put your hands on him, right? You don't need to. It's not necessary if you move your feet.
Yeah, Saad Rahman says, too many drops today. Defense didn't play like a tier 1 like we were expected. It seems like we didn't adjust on defense at all. They went straight at MP in 21. 100% did they pick on those two guys. Holy smokes. The scary part is every team has guys that get picked on, right? Every team. But we thought here in Baltimore that was really, you had to find, the slot guy. You had to try and find that guy because we knew that Marlon and MP were not that guy. If MP starts becoming a guy you can attack, Jimbo, that's scary because Marlon can only guard so many people.
Right. He's playing phenomenal, but like you said, there's only one of them to go around. And so Marcus Peters has got to make a commitment to himself and to his team to play with a little more. I hate to say that a guy's not trying as hard as he can, but it seems as though he's leaving stuff on the field. Yeah. He's outsmarting himself, and if he just plays with a little effort.
You know that guy who's too cool to show 100% effort?
Right. Yeah,
He's playing like that guy. I'm too cool to try.
Right. Like, bro, I don't want to get sweaty out here.
Try.
It's like
dude, try a little harder, dude. Like,
right.
You need to do, because it's like somebody said earlier. I mean, he's getting all these rest days at practice for veteran. I mean, you keep playing like this, I'm going to start taking away those rest days and get your ass back out at practice.
That's
Laura
right.
says, all I can say is we're a mess. I'm going to say offense and defense did not play well in my eyes, but I don't understand Lamar's throwing. Yeah. I mean, they are a mess on both sides. I didn't think the defense would look this. I just never imagined. If you would have maybe convinced me of the offense struggling again, I'll give you that. But look, Jimbo, they lose Travis Etienne in like the first drive or two. And I think, and then JaMychal Hasty. Yeah, JaMychal Hasty just goes out and catches a 28-yard touchdown down the right sideline. Then it gets left butt naked wide open for another 25 yards on the left side.
Whose fault was the one on the left side?
I got to imagine it was Pat Queen, because in that scenario, typically the linebacker's instructed, you blitz if the back stays in the block, you cover him if he leaks out, and it's some reason he saw him staying in and blitzed, and poof, he did not. Yeah,
so I kind of set that one up because I felt like he went from having an absolute incredible game last week to where, him and Roquan have hit this special place. They're kind of gelling, and he's feeding off of Roquan, things like that. And then all of a sudden, he's same old Pat Queen, arm tackling, trying to take down guys real high. I counted 5 missed tackles, say, by Patrick Queen by the time this game was said and done. And 3 of them I can think of in one-on-one scenarios, really crucial plays where a guy ends up getting 6 extra yards. And then one of them in the red zone. I can't remember who it was to, but in the red zone. And, a guy gets down to the 2 instead of being at the 12, or, you know what I mean? It's just, it's really, really difficult and frustrating to watch a player like that, where similar to Marcus Peters, where it's like, if you just tried a little harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not about being faster, smarter, stronger, bigger, taller, whatever. Just finish the tackle. Like, just finish it. You're there. You've already done all the hard stuff. Just finish the guy,
Yeah, just make the play. And it makes me wonder, and I'm trying to find the comment to give a little credit, but I think it's right in saying that, like, how much did they miss Kyle Hamilton today? Like, how much was that guy a key to a lot of that run that was so successful, those few games? Maybe it was his coming out party. It wasn't just his coming out party, but it was him being the reason why the defense was playing at such a high level. Ian says, Ricard on that screen, worst play call of the season. Pat Ricard has not had his finest last 2 games, just to put that lightly. And today I knew we'd lean on him.
Which screen? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know exactly which play.
Because the only one I remember, he had like an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, I'm not exactly.
Guy in the face.
I just know. Yeah, that was on the flat though, to the right. That wasn't a screen. Yeah. That was just a flat route. But I will say, Pat Ricard has not played his best 2 games. I thought he's missed some block. I thought he's been a part of the reason why the run game hasn't been as effective. And I do know that Ricard's snap count, especially as a tight end, would have had to have gone up today with Likely being out, Kohler being out.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to have played a lot more. And I don't think he's had a great last couple games, but it's tough because it's hard to evaluate a fullback.
Is he our number one receiver? Some people are saying that. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm going to ask you about our number one receiver because I honestly think Devin Duvernay is hurt. And the reason I think he's hurt, he doesn't look even close to the same guy on kick returns. How about that kick return where that knucklehead runs backwards and gets tackled at the 6-yard line on a crucial drive in which the Ravens can't be backed up. And, of course, that's where later when Gus fumbles like 2 plays into it. But he doesn't look himself, Jimbo, not just on offense. As a returner, he looks hesitant. He looks slow. He's not shot out of a cannon like we're used to seeing. I know he's been missing a lot of clock. He's got a hamstring. How much do you think that hamstring is bugging him?
Yeah, it seems to be bugging him more than I didn't even realize he was that close to not playing. We knew he was on the list, but I didn't realize he was that close to not playing this week. And it seemed like it was more of a game time decision. So yeah, I would say it's probably pretty serious, more than I anticipated, or even that you and I kind of really paid attention to, because the guys pop up on this list for whatever, right? Like they sneeze and all of a sudden they're on the list. So
you don't know,
yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I think there's something there. I haven't looked right now, but did Deshaun Jackson lead our wide receiver group in yards?
In the wide receiver group, let's see. He did, but not in overall, but yeah, he did.
He's second overall?
Yeah.
1 catch, dude.
Not 2 catches.
Oh, Deshaun Jackson had 2 catches. You're right.
He had like a 12-yarder early.
But the bomb, I mean, it was ridiculous. So, but yeah, I do think that there's something wrong with Duve. I think something's up.
He doesn't look like himself, man. Even on the returns, he looks slow and hesitant. And
because when the play you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was even a linebacker that he couldn't kind of outrun there to kind of turn the corner.
And he just doesn't look, even on punt returns the last 2-3 weeks, he's just, I don't know, he just doesn't look decisive, fast. I don't know. Something ain't right with him. I think that hamstring's bugging him a little more. Ethan VPG says, Tucker missed 67-yarder was huge. Sign hot rod, #flock. Yeah, we got to blame this one on Tuck, If he would have just kicked it at a lower trajectory, okay? Nobody was comping at that block. Nobody was trying to block. No, honestly, he almost bailed them guys out once again. It's crazy. But yeah, it just came up a little bit short. Sean Pisker said, I think what pains me the most, I've spent years I spent years defining Lamar as a QB, but when I look at guys like Mahomes, Burrow, and maybe even Tua, Lamar just can't throw like them with the same consistency. Well, I think Sean is really hurting over this loss, and I think we all are, Sean, but I think we're watching with a hypercritical eye with Lamar, and I get it. He's having a bad run right now, but he's also had runs where he could do no wrong, made every right decision, and was extremely accurate. And those guys have had bad runs as well, including Tua, who was almost ran off his own team. Let's give him a little bit of credit. What do you think, Jimbo?
Oh, it pains me that
You're leaning towards Sean? Oh, no!
The consistency part of it. I can't argue with him right now. The consistency, because we'll see Lamar do spectacular things. And that's the reason that it's hard to judge one against another, because you'll also see, Burrow under pressure. If doesn't have a perfect line in front of him, then he's nothing, right? Like, he can't do what Lamar can do, where he can turn a potential 8-yard loss into a 15-yard gain, right? So there's it's a give and take here. But it's really difficult for me to argue with the small part of the fact that certainly the consistency there. I don't know if I'm ready to throw Tua in there just because I don't want to. But Mahomes and
I don't think any of those two, like Burrow and Tua, I don't think they're on the level of Pat Mahomes.
No, they're not, certainly. But it's fair to say that as much as this pains me, that Burrow is probably a more consistent thrower of the football.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, I mean
but to me, it's so much about decision making,
right?
As a quarterback, and Lamar was a savant at decision making for the first few years, and then lately we've seen lapses in that decision making that make us kind of scratch our head.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Glenn, I fully believe that when you start incorporating things that are outside the scope of your job description.
Mm-hmm.
You start pouring less mental energy into your job description, and it affects it. I firmly believe that. I think that players that are able to, silo their efforts onto what they do best. And the way I would explain it to Lamar, if I could, Lamar, just listen here for 30 seconds here.
Oh, he's watching.
Because people talk about doing side hustles for their job, right? But the only argument to that is like right now, Lamar being an agent is his own side hustle. But if he just focused on his main hustle, how much more money would that make him other than the 3% that he's giving up to an agent that he could be losing in energy that he's putting in his night that he's moonlighting as an agent? You know what I mean? To where if he could just focus his efforts on this one thing.
Yeah, but the question is how much. I see what you're saying, but how much? It's not like it's like a high school athlete that wants to play 2 sports, and maybe the coach said, "I want you to focus on this one," or even like a parent saying, "Well, if your school grades aren't good enough, then you can't play sports," and that I get because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to play sport. How much time and effort is he really spending on his contract right now?
I think it's all right here, though. That's the thing.
You think it's just mental?
Constantly.
Okay.
Because after every game, you don't think he's doing.
They say they don't, active. But every player says they don't, but they all do.
Right. Lamar's active on Twitter, right? We see it, and you don't think he's scrolling through all of it. I'm just saying the mental energy is starting to concern me because I think that's causing him to play the way he's playing, which seems a bit forced.
But that doesn't excuse the 7 drops by guys who normally don't drop it. It doesn't excuse all the other faults around him. It's to me it's everyone. So you can maybe say, well, that's what's causing him, but what's causing Mark to drop that right in his hands? What's causing Duve to boof that? It was right in his freaking hands. Like
I memean all those things just compound and then they end up stacking on top of one another, and that's what makes it difficult to be a Ravens fan today. I mean, you lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, an obsolete, organization whose main attraction is a swimming pool in their stadium and a Jaguar wearing a thong. And this is what you lost to a team whose mascot was wearing an American flag thong. He had to get dressed at halftime because he was not allowed to be on the CBS screen as dressed.
Dude, he looked like the cheetah from the Cheetos commercial.
Did you see they made him put his outfit back on? In the second half,
him in the background of one of the clips, and
he's
in a thong. He's in a thong, and he looks as skinny as me. Like, just imagine me in a cheetah outfit or a Jaguar outfit in a thong. It would be horrible.
I'd prefer not to.
Yeah, try not to.
Avoid it.
Yeah, try not to. But how is that? Yeah, how is that?
That's the team you lose to. There's like 8 5-year-olds sucking their thumbs in the pool. And then there's a Jaguar down on the field in a thong, and that's the team you lose to.
Hey man, that's for the team wasn't focused on that, that's for them. But JL says Roman is running 3 pass catchers into 7 defenders in coverage. Doesn't make any sense to me, but regardless, your defense allowed 75-yard touchdown drive. Yeah, I mean, some people are saying, hey, why if Oliver goes down on that play instead of scoring, if he simply falls at the 3-yard line, the Ravens can then run the clock out and kick the game-winning game-winning field goal. But I have no problem with him scoring.
Dude. I want that touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you tell your defense, we're going to give you a 7-point lead, they converted a 4th down on that drive. Like it wasn't.
And it was.
Oh, and by the way, that wasn't a catch.
Oh, you talking about in the touchdown?
How is that a catch? He got 1 foot down.
I think it's so stupid that a millimeter above your ankle, it counts.
Yeah, but his calf hit first, and his calf hit out of bounds.
I feel like just above the ankle, it got like 2 blades of grass. But I think that is a stupid.
That is crazy. That is nuts.
Look,
that's 1 foot in.
All Marcus had to do was push him.
Yeah. Instead of just standing there acting like a referee. Yeah. To me, that's not a catch. He double tapped 1 foot. If you start telling everybody in the league you can double tap 1 foot and that's a catch, it's going to change everything.
It wasn't a double tap, though.
Come on, man.
No, I'm saying
his calf hit the gosh darn outside is what I saw.
I'm with you. But this is the frustrating part is that I don't think that half a leg should be 2 feet. Much less 1/8 of a leg.
I don't know. What I mean? I saw it differently. I don't see how that was a touchdown.
I don't think it was a catch either. But based on the letter of the law, I can see how the refs got there. But I think if it's below, DK, put a banner up here. I can tell you're looking to chime in here. Let's see. Roman, did we already get? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we got.
Yeah,
this.
I mean, look, the defense blew it.
Yeah.
I mean, they blew it. Yeah, I mean, look, Odafe Owe nowhere to be seen in this game once again. He's a non-factor. And then we didn't see the heroics of Justin Houston in this game. He was held in check.
JPP. I mean, you saw Tyus Bowser had the nice play, caused the fumble.
Calais had the big hit where he crushed him.
Did it make you a little mad that Peters was super celebratory about recovering the fumble? Hey, dude, he's the best.
But he's great at that, dude.
Oh, he's the best in the league at taking a one-hopper, dude.
He is so good at recovering. I got to give him credit. He is.
Yeah.
Tariq says, did Peters lose speed since the ACL? No recovery. I mean, probably. He probably lost some,
and a lot
no doubt.
People say it takes 1 full year after, but he's also an older player.
He's older, and some of it doesn't look like just straight line speed. It looks like lack of effort, or it just looks like the cool guy doesn't want to try that hard. Right. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah. No. I'm with you there. It seems odd, right?
Yeah, it's aggravating because that was what this Ravens defense was known for in recent years, and they only have one great corner right now unless Marcus can kind of turn things around. JL says that's disrespectful to compare Lamar's passing to Mahomes, Tua, and Burrow. Look at their weapons and scheme. Criticize him all you want, but be fair. Okay. Well, fine, I mean, we're not talking about numbers. We're talking about consistency as a passer, not numbers.
I don't want to defend any take that does anything bad to Lamar Jackson, but you can't deny the fact that he's not been consistent.
Yeah, come on. We're not talking about being disrespectful. Would be comparing their numbers. That's not like, of course, Mahomes and Tua and Burrow, they throw the ball more. They have a ton of weapons on the outside. Yeah. But when guys are wide open and you're missing them wide open, you can't blame the weapons. Now you can on 7 drops.
Yeah, all I want anyone to do is in regular drop back scenarios, let's just film the waist to the feet. And you tell me who's more consistent. Now, Mahomes obviously outside the pocket has all these unorthodox throws, but I'm talking about regular dropbacks. You know what I mean? That's the part that's been frustrating for me is the one, not the one, but obviously the big play. His feet were set. It was a beautiful throw right on a dime to Deshaun Jackson, who somehow is still outrunning guys that are almost half his age at this point, which I would be insanely embarrassed.
Crazy, dude.
I mean, so shout out to him, but all I'm saying is that there's got to be some improved consistency there, because if you can do that more consistently, everything else will follow it. Period. End of story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So all those other things out of it is what we're trying to say, right? You're trying to just isolate one thing.
Yeah, well, everyone deserves criticism in this
for
one.
Sure. No one is above criticism. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. Like Father Like Son says, our scheme and philosophy from the top down allows us year after year to be a solid regular season team. It no longer allows us to be a great playoff team. I mean, I disagree. They're playing like crap right now, but I don't think it's because of – I think that's – I just hate that outlook. I just hate it. I hate it. I hate that outlook that this scheme is only good for the regular season because teams aren't trying apparently in the regular season. I disagree. So now I'm not saying there's not a time for change, but I'm saying that I think that is nonsensical.
Yeah. What about what will happen for?
By the way, what's an uptick this year? Is passing an uptick this year? Or what's being prioritized right now in the league wide?
Yeah, running.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a philosophy. I do think that there is a time, and this might be the last year Greg Roman here. Yeah. It might be. But I also, again, wouldn't be stunned if next week they come out and dominate. It's just the consistency is alarming, but I don't think that it's like the team can't, get things back in order. I think they certainly can.
People really hate us right now, Glenn.
Why?
Super chat. Look at it. Oh, I'll
even the Jags have a better receiving core, hence the drop. Shake my head. Yeah, there's not many teams with a worse receiving core, but I will say, I mean, damn, Mark Andrews drops some. I mean,
I know,
hits him right in his face.
All I want to say in this argument all the time, right, is that like you can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too. And I say this all the time. Look, 2019, we had a terrible terrible
Oh,
as my
there
light
is your
dies.
light. Yep.
As we had a terrible receiving core. But if you look at, we had an all-pro at left tackle, we had a Hall of Famer at right guard, and we had a Pro Bowler at right tackle. Right?
Yeah, and the MVP at quarterback.
But I mean, if you're just talking the offensive line, I would prefer to have an offensive line with that resume than a top flight wide receiver core. That's just me. Maybe other people see it differently, but I'd like to build a team from the inside out. Now, when Ronnie has been healthy in these games and he was playing top flight like he was before, you could say we had an all-pro again at left tackle. We have a trending Pro Bowler at right tackle because Morgan Moses has really been upticking in his game. And a guy like Linderbaum who's been playing really well as a rookie. And so when those three things are firing, I would say that it's fair to say that's equally as valuable, if not more valuable, than a top flight receiver core, is all I'm saying here. Like, I don't disagree with what this person is saying, right? Like, but if you had to have one or the other, I prefer the offensive line. Ronnie just hasn't been healthy. And the nice thing is it looks like he'll be back.
Yeah, that Ronnie injury is not doing us any favors right now, but neither is the Bateman one. That one hurts as well.
Yeah.
So I don't get how you can be in the NFL and consistently drop that many balls. Also, LJ has been too inconsistent. That's why the Ravens are holding back. Yeah, I mean, I think it's shocking. Like, I think somebody said, well, it was a tough catch for backup tight end. Why am I blanking on it?
Oliver?
It was a tough catch. Dude, you're paid to catch a football.
And you got
time
both
your jump
hands
better.
on it.
And time your jump better. Like, dude, you jumped too early, and that's why it looked like that. So, yeah, it's no excuse for these guys. It's a tough catch. It's a tough catch. You're paid to catch a ball. It hits you in both your hands. Catch the damn ball. Like, it's unbelievable. And it was not a tough catch for Mark Andrews. It was not a tough catch for Devin Duvernay. Like, you can't make those drops. You just can't do it. I mean, yeah, it's frustrating, man. It drives us absolutely crazy. Brent Lauren says, this one hurts. Momentum swing when we went for it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
No
what
doubt.
a goofy play.
Yeah.
It was a goofy looking play. I mean, that you talked about, Ricard missed a block there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to pull up. I got the drives in front of me. I just have to look at that again.
Lamar just used the F-bomb in his press conference.
Did he? Damn. I mean, there's no doubt we're seeing an unprecedented level of frustration coming from Lamar. Like, when he's on the sidelines, I mean, nobody likes losing, especially not a competitor like Lamar. But, man, he looks absolutely furious at times on the side. And I don't blame him. I mean, some of the rage is aimed at teammates, it looks like. Some of it's aimed at himself when he's frustrated, when he misses ball. I mean, he's hard on himself, and he expects great things from his teammates as well. Okay, got the F-bomb. Wow, I need to see this. Greg Roman's nephew. Shout out to y'all. Nephews. Come on, man.
I know.
Come on, man. Let's not you know what? I wish I was his nephew. I might be able to go to a couple games.
There's no way, if you guys met
What's
Glenn,
up, Uncle Greg? Help me out.
There's absolutely no way that Glenn and Greg Roman could be biologically related ever in any
We look
case.
so opposite.
Like, zero. There's no way. So
Greg Roman looks like me if I was putting like a hydraulic press and just smash down and then stop like right here. There's Greg. But yeah. No, I'm not. I get. Hey, I'm saying he needs to be criticized too. I'm just saying he's not the only person. That's all I'm saying. The receivers deserve criticism. The backs deserve criticism. The tight ends deserve criticism, and so does Lamar Jackson, as well as Greg Roman. They all do.
You know what? I think this sums it up best. I'm going to leave it
defense.
Open. I'm going to leave it open-ended, but the Ravens need to change. They need a change. I'm going to leave it at that. Something, whether that's they need more energy coming out of the game. They need to change the offensive coordinator. I'm just saying everything is on the table, and that's fair. That's as far as I'll go, right? Like, I'm not saying it's going to be a good idea in my take to just boot a guy in the middle of the season, but yeah, something needs to change. I'm going to leave it open-ended.
Yeah, Laura says, and not the head off of another reporter when When they asked him how he felt after this loss, he said, "Hello, the hell do you think I feel, or how do you feel?" He's fired up. Wow, yeah, I can't wait to watch it. I'm gonna certainly do that as soon as this is over. Not used to seeing him not maintain his composure in the presser, so he must really be fired up. But let me say this, Jimbo, to all the fans that are disappointed: what if? Let me try and put a positive spin on this one, Jimbo. We talked about in 2019, we've talked about it many other teams, not just the Ravens, but league-wide, when teams peak too early. I think we all agree the Ravens in 2019 peaked a little bit too early. They were playing their best football when it didn't matter most. And maybe this is the type of loss that can kind of galvanize a team, motivate a team, and get them playing their best football when it actually matters most, which is at the end of the season. And then maybe this is just the linchpin, or this is the kind of launching point for where this team's going to go for the remainder of the season. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but I see a fired up Lamar Jackson. I'm excited. And I want to see him fired up. I want to see all these guys fired up and frustrated because they should be expecting to win this game and really every game when they come on the field. So, Jimbo, is there any way this could be just the start of something great and that maybe they'll peak at the right time and not prematurely like we've seen in years past?
Oh man, I wish I could ride with you on this one, Glenn. It's just hard for me right now. I don't know, man.
Yeah, all right.
I think you might be alone for now. Maybe I just need some time to like let the optimism get flowing again, but right now it's just too soon.
Yeah, it hurts to lose to the Jags, dude.
Yeah.
The Jags.
Yeah.
Is there a worse organization?
Yeah, I know. James Lee Wiley says, besides his contract, his restaurants and clothing line, he has too much on his mind.
Maybe. Shout out to Mike. What's going on, Mike? Mike Tom?
And it's not like other guys have the same stuff going on, but I do think there's an added element of pressure simply when you don't have a mediator between you and the front office.
I agree, but I also, like you, I mean, I'm pretty sure Pat Mahomes is pretty busy off the field too with all his
100%
ventures. So I think it's all these guys, all these guys have a lot going on off the field. I'm not going to let that be the excuse. I just think they got to play better.
Yeah. Couldn't disagree with you there.
Yeah. But the defense too, man. Defense stunk up the joint in the second half. I mean, the first half, they give up nothing in the first quarter, 10 in the second, but they give up 18 points to the Jaguars in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I mean, it, like I said before, it really got bad when Marlowe went out.
Yeah, it got bad. It got really bad. And I just hope that he can get back because, gosh, what a player he is. We didn't talk about him, but I mean, the way he comes up and supports the run, he had back-to-back tackles for loss on the same drive. He's just such a beast, man. I just wish we could. It's like McDonald said. You just wish you could clone him and have a bunch of Marlon Humphreys run around all over the field. You'd be pretty good. Josh Hunter says, team loss, can't fumble the ball on your own 10-yard line. Yeah, Gus. What the hell? What does that have to do with Giro? Good point. Giro didn't fumble it. What does dropping passes have to do with Giro? Well, see, look at that, Jimbo. Not everyone thinks we're Greg Roman's nephew. We agree that everyone needs to take some of this blame pie, and a piece 100%. Certainly will go to Greg Roman, but a piece will go to Gus Edwards, a piece will go to Mark Andrews, and to Lamar, and to all these guys that played a part because nobody played perfect on offense. But I tell you what, the offensive line played pretty damn well.
Yeah, and I tell you what adds on to it, you hear Tucker in the locker room. I just read a quote. He's really bummed out and heartbroken about missing a kick that he thinks he has the ability to make. That's got to suck because he's the ultimate competitor as well, and he feels like he lost the game for him at the end of the day.
Not making a 67-yarder in Jacksonville. That's why he's great, right?
Yeah.
Because even he expects to make that just as much as he expects to make a 45-yarder.
Yeah, man. Phew.
Pay the Bills says, would you guys resign MP? Nope.
Not a
Heck
chance.
No, because he's going to want big money, and that money is going to have to go to Lamar Jackson. It's going to have to go to Roquan Smith. There's a lot of guys right now, and it's not going to go to Marcus Peters.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, like you said, Lamar, Roquan, all these other guys, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But
Let me see here. Roquan, by the way, he's our leading tackler, but I didn't see a lot of him today, which was disappointing. But a lot of their attack
Dude,
was
but the one
so.
shoestring tackle that
crucial.
saved it.
Yeah,
I hate to compound and keep but Patrick Queen would have never made that tackle.
I don't know many players in the league are making that tackle.
And that was an incredible tackle.
Yeah.
The way he came off that block and just boom. I mean, it was so fast. Oh, wow, that was an incredible play.
Yeah, Sean Pisker says, not going to lie, the loss of Brown has shown. Brown. Is he talking about
Marquise Brown?
Oh, okay. Say what you want, but Brown at least. Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, because the trade makes sense with the later part of his comment. But Brown was at least always on the field. Yet Linderbaum is great, but I'd take Brown. Well, Brown wasn't always on the field.
Yeah, he was hurt.
He did miss quite a bit of time. I think I know what you're saying. Missed more practice than games.
Yeah.
And did ultimately suit up for a good portion of his games, but also missed some time as well. I'm very happy with Linderbaum. I think Linderbaum is going to be, first of all, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
And he's already playing like a Pro Bowl center. And I think in a year he'll be the Pro Bowl center. And then for the next decade, he'll be in competition for it every season. Look, the bottom line is I would like to have Hollywood here, but Hollywood didn't want to be here. So that just wasn't even an option of Hollywood being here. It just wasn't. He wanted to leave, and they let him leave. Now, if Hollywood was on board, would I like to have had him? I'd like to have him here, but I'm also pretty happy with Linderbaum, and I think if we didn't have Linderbaum, we'd be up, what's creek without a paddle.
100% with that. I mean, can't.
Yeah, I like both. I'd like to have both, though, if that was an option.
Yeah, and then Sean follows it up. He says, Brown over Bateman. Might be hard to disagree with that one, just because Bateman's availability has been worse than Brown's, right?
I think the ceiling on Bateman is higher, but you can't reach that ceiling from the trainer room. So, yeah, I think if I had to choose right now, sure, I'd take Marquise, but damn, I wouldn't be. That's not thrilling.
Yeah. Oh, geez Louise. Well, I think, let's see. OTC says, what's up with the 1 foot touchdown? Never knew you could do that. Oh, yeah. Right, like we talked about.
I think it's bull crap. OTC, I don't care what anyone says. He touched 1 foot down twice, and then his calf hit out of bounds before his ankle bone touched it was bullshit. I mean, sorry, we don't cuss too much on this show, but that was bull crap call. You can't double touch 1 foot and call it in. It's bull crap. Mike, I am stressed. And quit calling me names in the chat and making fun of my hair. Look, my hair was pulled.
He's probably making fun of mine.
It doesn't look good right now. I'm not having a good hair day, but
I'm not either.
I was pulling my hair out. You should have seen me at the end of the game. I had it was all spiked up because I was so frustrated. Yeah. So yeah, let me see here. I thought I saw one more.
I think we're up to date, DK.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
We're good. Well, let's get to our competition. I know DK's dying to. I know it's his favorite part of the show. Competition results.
Today it is.
Yeah. So let's get right to it. All right, DK. Let's pop up the first one.
Jimmy is not so enthusiastic this week.
No, that's okay. As long as it's not you, I'm good.
Doesn't sound like it, but go ahead.
I'm not enthusiastic about anything right now. Ravens wide receiver targets over under 10.5. Let's see. I believe I went under. Glenn, did you also go under? I don't have it up in front of me, but either way, it was 12. It was over. We know DK got it right.
Yeah, I said under.
Yeah. So, no, you
I said over?
You said over.
All right. Thanks, DK.
You got that one right. Yeah.
I'm pulling it up now, so I don't have to not know.
Let's go to the next one here. Over under Ravens rushing long, 19.5 yards. I went over on this one, if I'm not mistaken. And it was under at 16. And DK, that's 17, by the way, according to the television, the good old telly. Gus ran for a 17-yarder, so give him his extra yard.
Well, on ESPN, it's listed as 16 as well.
Yeah, well, you know what? I choose to believe in Kenny Lofton. Okay. Either way,
how old is that guy?
Tell me about it. All right, so next one. Over under Jaguars play yards per play 4.05. That was over at 5.4. I would have loved to know what that stat was before the fourth quarter. That would have been interesting
when
to
they
see.
Went bonkers.
Sure. Right, absolutely. I chose the over on this one. Glenn chose the under on this one, didn't you? Yeah. and DK obviously chose the over. So, all right, let's go. I don't have dark circles under my eyes. I have terrible lighting. Goodness gracious. Okay. Jeez whiz. All right. Jaguar turnovers over under 1.5, 1, almost 2.
Should have been 2.
Should have been 2.
Jump on the ball.
Yeah. It was under. Ladies and gentlemen, well, we got to keep going actually. Right? Yeah. Total score.
It's like, do we have to?
Yeah, for the tiebreaker. If there's a tiebreaker, there wasn't a tiebreaker in this one. Total score 43.5. It was over at 55. Glenn, did you take the over and the under on this one? You took the under?
I took under.
Yeah, I think I did as well at 43, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd see the Jags put up that many.
My goodness. It was over. DK, did you take over or under on this? Under, yeah. Okay.
Of course he did. He went 4 for 4.
Yeah. Well, no. But
this is number 5. Okay.
Right, exactly.
All right.
And then let's take the last one here. The second tiebreaker, if need be. Total yards for Ravens close to the pin, 332. Was that you, Glenn?
No.
It was also DK.
All DK, dude. He literally hit everything. Oh, no. He didn't hit the over-under on the total score. That was the only thing he got wrong.
But 4 for 4. First time it's been done this season by anyone on the show. So
congratulations,
shout out
DK.
to DK.
He needed a win, too. He was way down at the bottom.
Is this DK not peaking too soon?
That's what it is.
Is this DK starting his ascension? Is that what this is? He's coming back. Is this 2019 DK all over again?
I think so. Let's hope, because let's hope it correlates to the Ravens, because DK certainly. Here we go.
Now he's got the graphic.
All right, go ahead, DK. Put it up, and then we'll get back to Eric's comments. This graphic. DK. I haven't seen this graphic in weeks. As soon as DK wins, he updates it, and now we have it ready. It's hilarious.
He's got this perfectly photoshopped picture of him up on the screen.
Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Man, I tell you what, though. Look at your boy at the top with 30. Just spanking y'all. And the accuracy.
But it doesn't even matter.
What?
It's about wins and losses, dude. That's what matters at the end of the day.
Well, then you tell me why I'm at the top.
Because you're the first one there. That's all. You know what, DK? Because DK doesn't want to change the order every week.
Nope. No, I'm there because I'm number 1.
Wait, no.
Wait, no.
No.
Yes.
Oh gosh, that was fun. That helped. Chuck Clark and Marcus Peters not in sync. Fair?
Yeah, well, on that play to Jermichael Hastings on the right side, it looked like Peters passed him off because there was a guy running out to the flat, which in that case was Peters' responsibility. But as soon as he jumps up for the flat, Chuck Clark just couldn't get to the corner, and Heisty kind of had an easy touchdown. Beautiful throw, by the way, by what's his name? I don't even know. Sunshine is what we call him. Josh Hunter says, help is coming on defense. Williams, Hamilton, hopefully Humphrey, and Ajabo stay positive. Yeah. Oh, I think the concern is certainly more on the offensive side of the ball than on defense. I think while this is another fourth quarter collapse and we don't like seeing it, we've seen I think maybe that Hamilton's injury was just bigger than we initially thought it would, kind of be an issue with the defense. And with Williams already back at practice, his practice window is already open. I think he'll be back, maybe not this upcoming week, but the week following. And then Ajabo, I expect on the field this week. So, I think the defense will bounce back in a big way. But the question is, can the offense get some sort of rhythm going?
Yeah, can they get it done? We'll see what Ronnie's health is like. It's going to be really interesting to see how this goes moving forward.
Man, Mike is up in the comments, dude. Mike said I look like a 12-year-old with thyroid problems.
Jeez, so mean.
Words hurt, man. It's the holiday season, dude.
Why?
Damn,
Mike, we're gonna have to put you on camera, bro.
Now, Mike's not a bad-looking guy, though.
Give Glenn a fair shot.
But I'll come after him. He knows I'll come after him. And then Mike said, I always take the under, in quotes. I don't know what that means, but I think it was some type of a dig again at me. But yeah, this was a tough loss for the Ravens. Obviously, you hope they can turn around and bounce back next week. They got another game in which They will be favored. They're taking on, who is it next week, Jimbo? Why am I blanking on?
Oh my gosh, me too. I'm choosing not to think about it. Who do we play next week?
Is it Broncos next week? I think it's Denver.
Oh, we need Russell Wilson.
Dude, Russell Wilson, I saw was getting screamed at by his defensive lineman today.
Love it.
Here we go. All right, now I got next week open. It is the Broncos.
It's the Broncos, yeah.
Oh, no. No, it's not. It's the Steelers next week.
No, it's the Broncos.
Is it? All right, I'm tripping. All right. DK's like, no, you're an idiot. Oh, I clicked on week 14. So that's the next game. All right, so it's the Broncos this week upcoming.
Maybe that was Mike's you always take the under. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. Maybe that was a reference to your intelligence. Was that a reference to your
No,
intelligence?
I think it was I don't think it was anything to do with intelligence. No, never mind. I don't even want to go down that road that he was going down, okay? But yeah, Broncos this week upcoming, and then the Steelers the following. So both games in which will be very, very winnable. They'll be heavily favored. It's at home against the Broncos.
Bring it. But of course, I'm not picking a blowout. Don't let me do it for the rest of the season, Glenn.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is.
I'm not
We're
picking,
not blowing anyone out.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, I might pick us to blow out the Steelers.
Done.
I hate the Steelers, but
we'll have 8 drops in that game. And then win by 2.
It's a frustrating game to lose. Golly. Let's ride. That's right. Let's ride next week. Watch. If this goofball comes in and has a game, we might have to cancel the post-game show.
Seriously. No
Canceling the post-game show. DK will be sitting here by himself waiting for us.
Just twiddling his thumbs. Hey, guys.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, listen, that's it for us, folks. We will be back. But hopefully this was therapy for you guys as well as it was for us. We're going to continue to break it down and, we'll talk about this game. We'll talk about some major headlines, and then we'll get you prepped for this Broncos game coming up. But appreciate the support, all you guys, and we will talk to you soon. Oh, wait.
On, Sean.
Sorry, Sean.
Sean snuck one in.
Just want to leave something. Oh, go ahead. Just
want to leave something positive. I appreciate it, Sean, because Sean took this one hard, man. I love it. I love the passion. But just want to leave something positive. We'll always love this team. Love your guys' show. Keep up the great work. Hopefully this team gets its shit together. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I appreciate that because I'm like you. Like, I don't think I'm going to be watching a ton of football the rest of tonight. I just don't know if I can.
I just need some time away.
But when we win, I can't get enough of it. So I certainly understand, Sean. I get it. But, we'll be back next week. We'll actually be back Tuesday. But the Ravens will be back next week, and we'll be cheering them on like crazy. Appreciate you guys jumping out here with us, and have a good night.